Theoretical observations of intracellular mycoplasma, genitalium, 1.0 UM microns to 1.0 nm or smaller by Ronald Stewart. At the bottom of this next image we have 1.0 UM, where the orange arrow points to. However, we are literally going to be going down into the cell where the yellow arrow points to in the upper left top corner. And here we can see we are getting closer and closer to the cell. And this is the cell that we will eventually be going down to 0.25 of 1 nm, where the white bar shows the diameter of the cell where the yellow arrow points to. Here in A, as we zoom into the original image in the entire image itself, where the yellow arrow points to, we can see better enhancement and resolution images expressed in B, C, and D. Here we are zooming down from 500 nm all the way down to approximately 35 UM. And in looking at this, we're looking probably at extracellular genitalium, which is also the inner workings of the cell. However, morphologically, deeper detail is also pertaining to intracellular and extracellular myoplasmas and highly phloemoric ultrastructures indicated by dense contact of degraded bacterial membranes. And as we continue to go deeper within the cell, we now see, zooming in to the depth of the cell at 65 nm, 35 nm, and 15 nm expeditiously, as we get closer and closer to our eventual goal. Now, the reason we're going very slow is to be able to try to observe every detail possible and what we might see in both what is in known biological sciences and also in the unknown, and trying to connect the proverbial dots together between the two. We are now zooming down in this part of the cell and approximately have a diameter of this part of the cell, which would be a conglomeration of most likely clusters of atoms or molecules. As we get closer and closer to this area, we will see this becoming more and more true. As we now see a 25 nm approximate diameter, in which we see more and more detail as we go deeper and deeper within the Mycoplasma genitalium cell. What we see here in this white area is a conglomeration of numerous molecules together, which make itself more and more evident as we go deeper within the cell itself. And here, where it shows 2 nm, is approximately a molecule of. In some of these past images, what we have been viewing is clusters of atoms that influence the characteristics of the molecule and how they involve each other. But in this next image, we see in the upper top left corner a possible molecules of atoms in groups or bunches, and especially the one measuring 2.0 nm. However, the aqua-colored arrows are possible atoms where the aqua-colored arrows point to, as I reiterate, and where the orange arrow points to an atom that will be examined up close. However, we see the aqua-colored arrows pointing to other molecules or clusters of atoms. In about the middle of the image, we see another molecule or cluster of atoms. And the bottom left corner, we also see another molecule. The orange arrow points to the atom that we are zooming into that will measure approximately 0.25 of 1 UM or micron. As we go deeper and deeper within this Mycoplasma Genitalium cell, we can see the aqua-colored arrow point to a molecule on the right. And as the orange arrow points to an atom measuring 0.25 of 1 UM or 1 micron, we see more and more detail as we get closer and closer. And what we want to realize is these atoms and molecules certainly are the functional group of atoms that are the chemical building blocks of life. And in this case, help us to understand in a deeper perspective exactly what this particular cell may or may not be doing in both the known biological sciences and what we learn in zooming down to the cell in like manner. In the next image, we will go into even more detail. Here, what we see in this next image where the orange arrow points to is the atom that we have been taking a look at deep within this Mycoplasma Genitalium cell. The aqua-colored arrow points to, of course, the molecule or group of atoms. Now, the long yellow arrow that points away from the atom that the orange arrow points to is a projected enlargement of the atom where the orange arrow points to. And as we get closer and closer, we can see more detail in that enlarged projection. However, the small yellow arrow that points to the right of the image points to yet a closer, more enhanced resolution of the atom where the orange arrow pointed to. And where the E is possible electrons that are arcing from a positive electrical charged environment. The electrons are also likely quantum blue, and due to quantum oscillation, they are arcing. It also appears to have positively charged electrical atomic arcing and is occurring and is popping in and out of the vacuum around the atom. There also may be some electrons that are reattracted to the proton. And here we move even closer so we can see the possible electrons as they positively are charged and arc away and in and around the top of the atom. Now we are much, much closer than 0.25 of 1 UM or micron. Thank you for watching this video.